In the year 2025, the ley lines that fed the elven courts for millennia have gone dark. In their place, the neon sprawl of Sector 4 has risen, powered by cold silicon and raw data. This is the world of the Fae Silicon Heart. Our protagonist, Nyx, is the best shadow coder in the sprawl. Nyx lives in the Static Gut, a basement apartment where the air smells of ozone and burnt copper. She spends her nights bypass coding elven security wards that look like golden spider webs, turning them into lines of dead binary with a flick of her haptic gloves. She doesn't believe in magic. She believes in vulnerabilities. But her life changes when she's hired for a job that sounds like a suicide mission. Infiltrate the Glass Citadel by becoming the +1 to the most hated man in the city, Prince Valerius. The court craves a scandal to distract them from the fading magic, and a low-life hacker on the arm of a dying royal is the perfect glittering bait. If she succeeds, her brother's Fade Sickness debt is wiped. If she fails, they both end up as recycled code in the corporate furnace. Valerius isn't the arrogant tyrant the media portrays. He is a glitching ghost. To survive the magic fade, he wears a silicon heart, a prototype biometric pump made of translucent polyglass and gold circuitry, pulsating with a rhythmic, fading amber light that mimics the heartbeat of an ancient oak. Nyx felt the heat of it through her gloves, a burning electric fever that made her own skin crawl. While syncing with his heart, Nyx discovers an enigmatic journal hidden in his digital subvault. The book isn't made of paper, but of thin, cured skin that feels like living parchment, watermarked with a faint, pulsing dark sigil. The ink isn't black. It's a flowing liquid gold that seems to rewrite itself as Nyx watches, describing a prophecy where the Fae don't return to the woods but inhabit the lightning wires of man. When Nyx first touches the device to debug a system error, she doesn't just see code. She feels his memories, the scent of pine forests that no longer exist, the weight of a crown he never wanted. As Nyx touches the cold silicon, she doesn't just see his forests. She feels the static in his soul, the same hollow vibration she feels every time she looks at her brother's dying eyes. They aren't just Hacker and Mark anymore. They are two ghosts haunting a world that has already moved on. The tension is immediate. She is there to steal the encryption keys buried in his chest, but every fix she applies brings her closer to the heartbeat she's supposed to stop. The fake dating trope takes a lethal turn at the Solstice Gala, a masquerade where the Fae wear faces of shifting moonlight and the humans wear masks of chrome. As a Fae Duchess sneered at the poorly concealed ports on Nyx, Valerius pulled her closer, his skin smelling of ozone and dead stars. "Ignore them, Nyx," he rasped, his voice skipping like a scratched disc. "They're just jealous you have a pulse that isn't powered by a subscription." Nyx smirked, adjusting her mask. "Keep talking like that, Prince, and people might think you actually like the help." Nyx has to navigate the treacherous Fae court where a single misplaced word is a death sentence. She plays the role of the devoted lover, but the lines are blurring. To the court, she is the prince's salvation. To Nyx, he is a mission. But when a rival corporate hit squad triggers a system-wide blackout, the prince's heart begins to flatline. Nyx has to choose. Use her last battery pack to download the data and finish the job, or jumpstart his heart and reveal her true identity to the entire court. As the red emergency lights pulsed, Nyx didn't hesitate. She overrode the Citadel's gravity lifts, sliding Valerius's dead weight into the service ducts. They tumbled through the ventilation shafts, guided only by the fading amber spark in his chest, until they hit the floor of the root layer with a heavy thud, the sound swallowed by the thick, bioluminescent haze. For a moment, there is only the sound of Nyx's ragged breathing and the wet hiss of Valerius's failing heart. The air here doesn't just smell of ozone, it smells of the beginning of the world. They breached the forgotten dampness of the root layer, where massive, petrified elven roots are strangled by thick, glowing fiber-optic bundles. The air here is a bioluminescent haze of teal spores and electric blue static. Here, the enemies to lovers arc reaches its boiling point. Above them, the heavy thud of corporate breach boots echoed through the vents. The hit squad was closing in. Valerius pulls the enigmatic journal from his coat, his fingers twitching in a rhythmic loop. "The prophecy, it says we must inhabit the wires," he whispered, his voice fracturing into a metallic hiss. "The corporations want our power, but if you upload the code now, you give us the city, give us or life." It's a gamble on a genocide Nyx isn't ready for, but the breach charge on the door just turned green. He offers her the key, choosing to become the very thing the prophecy foretold. It is the ultimate subversion of the morally black hero. He isn't a monster because he's evil. He's a monster because he's a machine trying to remember how to be a soul. The twist, The silicon heart was never a life support system. It was a transmitter. As Nyx uploads the source code to the city's grid, she realizes the corporate entities didn't want to kill the Fae. They wanted to harvest their immortality to power a new AI. As the upload hits 100%, a dark sigil, a jagged black geometric mark appears on the forehead of every person in the city. It's not just an icon, it's a hardware port for a ghost. Nyx looks down at her own haptic gloves. Beneath the fabric, a dark sigil burns into her skin, the first port in a world turned into a motherboard. "System override complete," she whispered, the words tasting like copper. Nyx realizes the silicon heart was the master key to a dimensional fracture. By saving Valerius, Nyx hasn't just saved a prince. She has accidentally turned the entire human population into vessels for the Fae ghosts. The video ends with Nyx standing over a glowing city, where every window and street lamp has shifted from neon purple to the same sickly, pulsating amber as the prince's transmitter. Millions of dark sigils flare in unison like a global circuit board lighting up for the first time. She looks at Valerius, who is no longer a prince, but a god-sized virus. Realizing her heroic choice has just triggered the end of humanity as we know it, she looks at the prince. She didn't find a vulnerability in the Fae, she found the one in herself. Love is just a recursive loop, terminal. Error, was it love or the ultimate system crash? If you'd burn the world for a glitch in the code, stay in the network and subscribe. Tell us in the comments, magic or tech.